The city of Hilliard is a hotbed for innovation and new technology. Hilliard City Lab fosters this growth through its entrepreneurial ecosystem and high-tech commercialization incubator. This is where ideas come to life. This is Hilliard City Lab Connect. Hello and welcome to the Hilliard City Lab Connect podcast. Chase Evans, Michelle Gatchell here with a very special guest, Noor Taj-Hamim with Avionova, a founder, very bright young woman in the space innovation industry. You're also a Hilliard City Lab partner, and you've done so much in your career. If I may say your age, you're only 20 years old, and you've accomplished so much already. Thanks so much for being on the podcast. We're going to dive into your story. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
You were born in Ohio, grew up and went to school at different points in Hilliard. I believe you're still in Arizona State, finishing up college and your master's, I believe you said. But boy, right here in Hilliard actually gave you a great start to your career and your education, and you've done so much. Like, talk about Hilliard and just getting started here in this community.
Well, I think we moved here back in 2012. I was about maybe 7-8 years old, and I started around Beacon Elementary, so it was really nice because school was super close to the area. And what was really nice about Hilliard is all the kids, they just ride their bikes to school, right? And then went to middle school here with Weaver and Tharp, and they had so many fun extracurriculars you could be a part of that a lot of schools within the area don't really have a chance to, the orchestra and choir, and they also had some great STEM classes. But yeah, I mean, I've bounced around back and forth. I've always been here, though. It's always been my type of anchor, if that makes sense.
Nice. You have family in the Middle East, in Jordan, and specifically a lot of ties to that, which we'll get to. But that means a lot to you. A lot of roots back there. Do you still go back for different events and different gatherings back there as well in Jordan? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am the executive director of JSOR, standing for Jordan Student Space Outreach and Academic Relations. We strive to provide hands-on space and STEM access to youth in the Middle East. So I'm there quite a bit. I haven't been there in a year, but definitely play. Actually, no, I was back in the Middle East a couple months ago for a talk in Saudi Arabia. But I try to go back maybe once a year, especially for our work.
So with the students, is it K through 12 that you're working with the JSOR, or is it college?
It's actually really nice because we provide a lot. So we have middle school programs, elementary school programs. We have a lot of university students, though, who are just eager to get their hands dirty and work with space stuff. So we have a couple of university programs that we do when it comes to bringing in fun speakers, or let's say internship programs as well.
So I'm just curious, backing up a little bit from your roots here in Hilliard. Are your parents into space in any way, shape? What inspired you?
Yeah, no, my parents are they're not space nerds at all. They're not aviation nerds. I kind of feel bad for them because I put an airplane in their garage, and I'm still working on it. I thought I'd have more time to build, but I don't. But no, my mom's a teacher, and my dad's an engineer. And he's also a business owner in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean... You need the engineer and the teaching to have that, passion for learning and continuing to learn. So you got the best of both worlds with your parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, setting you up right. But back it up. What kind of a plane are you building?
It is a 1934 Pete and Pole air camper, and it's made entirely out of wood. Wooden propeller too. The big fancy wheels, and it's open, so it's 2 seats and in the air.
Cool.
So by the time I'm done, I get to have a leather cap and the goggles.
Very cool. I want to know when you're going to take your first flight, because I want to come watch.
Maybe a year and a half. I'm trying to plan for that time.
Yeah, nice.
Very cool.
So let's jump to your business.
Yeah.
In your college, what actually inspired you to look into things that could help people in space with their balance?
It comes more from my background rather than my education. If anything, I was always more of a problem child at school. I always had some sort of project that I was working on, maybe since the age of 4. But, I think the pandemic actually brought this trajectory for me because, my classes, they went online. I was okay, I'm desperate to get my hands on something. What can I do? And I found something called the NASA La Space program, and that's a university student program. It's a fellowship with NASA, but it's more geared towards entrepreneurship and engineering. I absolutely love entrepreneurship, but I didn't know that was the word for it. So, being accepted into that program, like, basically provided me with, like, the skill sets that I needed to, like, just be able to network and, like, get my name out there, get tech out there. And it, like, when I first started that program, I was like, oh my God, I can't think of anything. I don't know what I'm doing. This is so dumb. And then just, like, continue to, like, ask, like, the questions why and what if brought me to, I guess, like, more of, like, a space and aviation type of mindset. From there, I was, like, engaging in aviation and space projects, whether it was, like, with NASA or tech transfer of some sorts. And, brought me to being a private astronaut candidate with International Institute for Astronautical Sciences, which is IAS. They give you a fun flight suit. I love that thing.
I saw some pictures on LinkedIn. Very official.
Yeah.
Astronaut suit. Yeah. So where does that stand? You said you're a candidate in the next couple of years. Is it a possibility to go to space?
It's a possibility.
Yeah. Long process to get there.
Yeah. They brought like 13 people within the past couple of years to go to space, and that's what I used to say, but I think within the past year it's been a lot more than that. But yeah, I mean, working through that program and learning more about what challenges in space and aviation happen to people really brought me to, like, the heart of Avionova. Just, like, learning about the medical requirements, like, what can happen in space, what doesn't happen in space, and yeah.
So this earpiece, it is an earpiece that obviously physically fits in your ear. Describe what that is. And you mentioned before, like, the vestibular organs that are right in this small little organ inside your ear, controls the balance of your body. And it obviously, with vertigo and motion sickness, like, what you came up with this idea from the start. Kind of explain what that is. Obviously, it will help in space, but it could help here on the ground with people that might have vertigo and motion sickness as well. It's a complicated thing. A lot of science behind that. But how did you come up with that exactly?
Yeah, so they're earbuds that prevent spatial disorientation, dizziness, nausea, motion sickness, basically any type of, like, tricky ear situation. So our eyes and our ears control our sense of balance, and when things go south with our ears, that's what causes us to have vertigo. I think around 30% of accidents within the DoD are a result of something called spatial disorientation, and this is, like, basically the type of motion sickness or dizziness that happens in the aircraft. 2 out of 3 people who go to space, despite their training, they get the motion sickness and the vertigo, and then about 40% of Americans actually suffer from vertigo. So what we've done is we found a way to slowly cool down the ear and lower the metabolism or the fluid that controls our balance in the ear to dampen the reactivity of the ear. So it's kind of like, the best way I could word this is maybe like a cold plunge for your ears. It slows everything down, which is really nice. Science is there. They tried this back in the 40s as an implant, and, my airplane's older than that. The tech was, like, way too old for its time, and I think they had maybe 5 or 6 surgeons who could actually practice this. And, from there, the practice died, and surgeons started preferring something called a gentamicin shot, which is essentially a big shot of steroids into your ears to kill the hair cells that control your balance in an effort to restore your hearing.
Oh, that's bad though, right? Because then you're affected for the rest of your life everywhere.
Right.
So I'm curious, have you tested it on people that have vertigo?
So we know the tech works. There have been studies that have proven cryotherapy can help with tremors in Parkinson's, restore hearing function, and ultimately restore balance. A lot of the research here in these articles are saying, the researchers, they're saying, I can't believe no one's, like, done this yet, or, like, has revisited this in a while, for lack of better words. But Avionova, we're still a baby company. We started back in March of last year, and we're in the TRL3, which means, we have digital designs and are actively speaking with our distribution and manufacturing partners to get something out there.
Is it vibrational based?
No, so it's just cooling based.
Just cooling based.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Because I didn't know that temperature wise affected that part. Like, I was always thinking our balance was vibrational issues. Even vertigo, I thought, was like a vibration distortion.
Yeah, so we have two competitors. The first being Scion Neurosim. They're the ones who are using cooling, and then we have Autolith Labs. They're using vibrations to stop vertigo in specific disorders. But on the cooling side, we actually use cooling now to induce dizziness in people to find out what kind of vestibular disorders they have. So like when you go to an ENT, they'll shoot cold or hot water in your ears to like figure out your eye movements. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. So along your journey, you've had to make partnerships and connections. How have you kind of explored or figured out your way through all that? Because that's a lot of networking.
Yeah, I think a lot of it started with Hilliard City Lab, and it like kind of makes me laugh just how early stage we were. Had like a pitch deck and like this very broad conceptual idea, and it's so funny to me now because like I'll look at this deck sometimes and it kills me. But yeah,
It's come a long way since then, right?
Save that forever though.
Yeah. We had this like pitch deck. I think I sent an email to Dwayne and Alex.
Yeah.
And just like looking at the website.
City of Hilliard staff,
yeah,
yes.
City of Hilliard staff. And it's like, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I need your help. And they're like, okay, let's get a meeting. And I remember I was so pumped for this meeting. I was like, talking about it for weeks. I was like, okay, someone's like taking this seriously. We're going to get somewhere. And like having like that huge round table at like the
City Hall. Uh-huh.
Intimidating.
But basically you're saying that gave you a lot of confidence in validating your product and obviously you were awarded an innovation grant in space over here at the Hilliard City Lab Tech Incubator. That helped catapult you to where you are now. I mean, how grateful are you for this Hilliard City Lab ecosystem? It sounds like it helped really get your start. Am I right?
Oh yeah, no. I actually refer a lot of startups or aspiring entrepreneurs to this place. More recently, this incredible startup in my cohort at Techstars. They build essentially like VR glasses that help people who can't see like detect things in front of them. So they might have a partnership here. I mean, City of Hilliard does some great things. Like if anything, like the networking events that they like introduced us to definitely helped me get out of my comfort zone because it's kind of funny. So today at Techstars, we're doing something called Mentor Madness where you meet with other entrepreneurs who are like more established, have done things with their careers. And I actually met the same companies that I'd met at a networking event like last year, and at that time I feel so bad. I hovered around these guys because I was too scared to go anywhere else. He was like, yeah, you know me. I was like, now if I want to talk to them, like just go straight out. I'm like, hey, like this is what we're doing. It's like, yeah, I mean, City of Hilliard, like we've also contributed together on like with Converge on like research applications as well to like get to DoD for grant funding. Just there's a lot of resources here, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really giving you the confidence too, like you said.
Yeah.
The resources, the funding, the networking,
Definitely.
and the confidence that's built. And obviously, I mean, you're a very bright young woman. Like she's done a lot herself. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
She's established it. But we're happy that Hilliard's come alongside you and met you there and taken you to the next level. You've also got to do some pretty cool things. Wanted to mention you've gone to conferences all over the world. The one at the end of 24 was the MISC Youth Global Forum in Saudi Arabia, and I heard Bill Gates was there speaking too. I mean, some big speakers on this global stage. Am I right?
Yeah, they put our speaking slot like in between Steve Wozniak and Bill Gates. I was like, guys, like, how do I do this? But no, I absolutely love that panel. We were directly invited by His Royal Highness in Saudi. And we actually secured one of Avionova's first like customers through that panel.
Right? Cool.
Yeah, it was
cool.
Halo Space. They were on the same panel as us.
Oh, nice.
How
Very
about that?
nice.
Yeah.
And did you meet Wozniak or Gates?
So I may have accidentally run into Gates, but that's a story.
Another story. But boy, think about where this has taken you in just a few short years. I mean, boy, I know you're still very young, but I mean, you're very grateful for just like where you go. This gives you, like I said, the confidence to move forward in this space and or the networking, you know, that takes you a long way in knowing who to talk to and whatnot. Also wanted to mention you were honored in this ebook series for the Smithsonian.
Right.
Very big deal for remarkable women in the space industry. When they gave you a call and you found out, what did you think about that?
I thought it was a scam. I got an email and they're like, hey, is Noor here? Like, can we like make this work? Can we talk to her? It's like, you guys are sending this to me. I was like, hi, nice to meet you. I remember like trying to like set up the Zoom meeting. I was in the middle of class and like our Wi-Fi just sucked that day. So I like joined the Zoom like 4 different times. I was desperate to make it work. They're like, no, it's fine. We can like meet another day. And like a couple months later, I get to see the book and it was like the coolest thing I'd seen because like I was actually featured with like a lot of my colleagues as well.
How about
Nice.
that?
Yeah.
So, how do you, like, what's next for you? Where do you see this going? I sense you love the education part and helping others.
Yeah. See this going a couple different ways. I just need Avionova to grow a bit first. So at Avionova, within the past year, we have, I think, like 2 provisional patent applications. We have 8 letters of intent from DoD, private space, and healthcare. And we're also getting ready to start testing and like integrating this into a flight crew. We also even have a secondary application with IAS to send this with their astronauts within the next 2 years on their next space flight.
Nice.
So we're doing a lot of work, and we got to keep that momentum going. But I'm also really excited to see what happens with JSOR. We're running this incredible program right now called Cubes in Space, where we take middle schooler students and high schooler students, and we essentially throw them into this like massive entrepreneurship/science accelerator, where they have a hypothesis, but they have to carry through with it. So, we give them like a small payload. We're like, okay, these are the requirements that NASA has. Here's your random team. Pick who's like the leader, pick who's doing like maybe the marketing side, pick who's doing like the finance side, and so forth. And essentially they like come together, they build their experiments, they're in charge of reaching out to their own subject matter experts, they're in charge of writing their own legal documents and NDAs. They're in charge of like getting this from conceptualization to literal space flight, which is just incredible to me. And then at the end, they like send to NASA like their forms of like whether they want to take this in a sounding rocket or a weather balloon. So Cubes in Space is a worldwide program, but we're gearing more towards like Middle Eastern operations within the next couple of years, supporting Saudi, Kuwait, and Jordan for now.
Nice.
And through that program, they actually had a recent discovery that I love talking about. There was a group of 9-year-old students at St. Brother Andre Elementary School in Canada, and they found out that EpiPens were toxic in space.
Nah, wow.
And not just that, they're doing more research to figure out a solution to make safe capsules for these EpiPens.
That's fantastic. From kids that were just given the tools to create.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool would it be for you to be trying out your own earpiece that you've designed in space as a candidate yourself?
Maybe.
Could that be a possibility?
Maybe.
That's a full circle moment, isn't it?
I think like my full circle moment was, the first networking event wasn't through Hilliard, but it was through like the Techstars Meet the Companies mixer back in the spring. And I was like against the wall, too scared to talk to anyone. And, oh my goodness, they had a founder who's like, okay, he's gonna like pitch real fast and he has to like go make a flight. He has to go like meet an investor. I was like, oh my God, I wish that's gonna be me. Literally a year later, I was at my own award ceremony through the Satellite 2025 conference. We placed second for their pitch competition. And these are startups from all over the world who are Series A, Series B. So it's like so freaking cool for us.
Yeah.
But, had to dash in the middle of that award ceremony I couldn't even go to DCA. I had to take an Uber to BWI, which was about an hour and a half away, to make it back in time with my luggage to present Avionova at the next Meet the Companies mixer for Techstars. So that was happy tears, full circle moment for us.
Wow.
I love this. Yeah.
Well, you've really been a trailblazer in your own right, and just I'm sure young girls maybe come up to you, and maybe you've spoken at events to the younger generation of women entrepreneurs and just being in this space. And I know I think recently spoke, or at least attended an event we had in Columbus for her event, I forget the title of it.
Yeah, it was No Mickey's event.
Yes, just talking about women entrepreneurs and blazing this trail. Can you kind of just mention what it means to be one of those leaders, even at a young age?
I think it's a little surreal because I don't really think of myself to have done that much. You know, it's just like one task after the other. But when I gave a TEDx talk in DC a couple of weeks ago, I had a couple of different students come up to me and they're like, "Oh, we came to this conference because you're here." I said, "Oh, are you local?" They're like, "No." I was like, like you drove, okay, that's awesome. It's just like, it's amazing to like have people come up to you and like share their experiences as well, and like they'll say, "Oh, I love what you're doing," like, "I love what you're doing, like, you guys are awesome, like, you're high schoolers and you're already here, like, I didn't have that opportunity when I was younger." So it's like just like a lot to take in, but it also just doesn't feel real at the same time.
Yeah. Don't stop to think about it. Just keep going forward, man.
Yeah. Well, you're
Take the
certainly.
ride.
Boy, she's impressive, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how can people find more about you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here at City Lab.
Yeah.
I guess like connect with me online. I'm here. I'm a person I'll talk to.
On your LinkedIn.
I Googled myself. Apparently, I'm there as well.
There you are. And I know Avionova has a website.
And yeah,
you can-
Avionova for sure.
So if
Contact.
an investor's listening right now, and they say, oh, "Gosh, I got some extra money. I might want to give to this person." Are you looking for money still?
Yeah, I mean, we're prioritizing grant funding first to like de-risk and like finish our research, especially with our incredible team, but absolutely open to talk to investors.
Okay. All right. Great.
And always a great speaker at events.
Yeah.
She's been on the same stage with like Bill Gates, so she knows
I'm
she
telling
can hold the stage. That's for sure. She
Yeah.
held this stage perfectly on
Hey,
this
perfectly,
podcast.
yeah.
And we appreciate you coming on to the podcast here at City Lab Connect. Thanks so much, and hey, you're welcome back anytime, Noor.
Thank you.
Thanks.